want to talk about this 42RE, and I guess the 46 is very similar, but there's a seal there that goes up on the shift shaft. Now your shift shaft is what changes the gears, and there's also a throttle valve on top of it which tells the transmission where the throttle is so it can actuate the pressure. So the problem is, you know, the ideal way to do this is to pop the valve body off and tap that seal up and out from the bottom. There's a couple solutions here. Now if you look, there's a couple of videos where people use these tools. Now these things are, you know, sort of a pain to get to work, because the principle of it is you basically screw it down into the seal, but the problem is the actual rubber of the seal prevents you from getting a good bite on it. So, you know, there's a couple of videos where some guys use some pry bars and some extra stuff, and it's just a pain. So what I ended up doing was just using a simple seal puller. I can't show how that happened. It just, you know, it was a conglomeration of time and effort to get that out. But what I ran into now is this thing comes with a tool. The other part of the tool kit is, you notice, like a press arbor to keep the seal straight as you're pushing it on. But the problem is, you know, how are you going to get a press up in there? Now you could use a ball joint press. There's a guy that did that, but when you got these deep pans on there, it's nearly impossible. So you kind of see, maybe not, I got a mirror up in there so I can see what's happening. So what I ended up doing was taking an H block for my slide hammer here, and I was able to get that up in there through here, and I was able to tap that seal in. So, you know, there are ways to, you know, make things happen when you need to. I think, you know, if you don't have a slide hammer, I don't know how else to tell you to get that up there. You know, you could get a hammer in there somehow and tap it in, but I think the slide hammer is probably the ideal way to do it.